Wow, that's interesting. We didn't have the loading screen. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Part 34. In the previous part, what I did is that the game is finished. I finished the game. We had all the good endings, more or less, and series alive. Geralt is with Triss, and that's it. We killed Eredin. We killed Caranthir, whatever his name is, Caranthir, I think. And I think that's it. That's pretty much the summary of the previous part. And what I wanted to do in this part is I wanted to start one of these quests, like probably the Hearts of Stone. But actually, my last mission in the previous part was the contract. And that contract, I can't say it took 1 hour, but it maybe took like 15 minutes or something to actually make that mission, maybe 20. So I kind of realized that all these contracts that I have, and still all these contracts that I have, those are not the all contracts that I could have retrieved from all the villages and stuff. So I can potentially I can visit other villages and find some other contracts and some other missions. So I feel like this part 34 will be just me roaming around and making Witcher contracts and stuff, and just discussing different things, because I feel like I remember what I forgot to do. I wanted to talk about something about Triss and Yennefer and this choice.
Where you think you're going, mucker?
Why do you even care?
You're in the military operations zone, and our job's to collect the war tax.
Look more like you're collecting for a round of vodka to me.
I wonder I do. Will you be that cheeky when we accuse you of spying? Now shut your trap and pay.
Not about to give you a copper.
Told you he was a spy. We're gonna arrest you in the name of good King Radovid.
You can always try.
What's going on here?
Reporting the capture of a suspicious individual, sir. A spy.
A witcher'd make as good a spy as you'd make a chaperone. I catch you extorting coin again, you'll go straight to the front. The Eastern Front. And you, Witcher, best give these parts a wide berth.
Thanks. Farewell.
Watch your step.
That is weird. For some reason, I feel like when there are dialogues, you hear maybe the echo or something. I'm not sure. I need to check it during the dialogues. I'll try to find something. For some reason I'm having problems. There was a recent update to a recent OBS update, and I feel like they removed my mic, they added another mic, and things went horribly wrong. I wanted to check something about a discussion whether you should choose Triss or Yennefer, and I think it's very important to talk about it. It's funny because I've already talked about it, but I feel like I feel like it's not enough. I feel like there are people who truly don't understand the choice that you're making. Now, there are several things that I need to say. First thing is that I was thinking about it and about all these good endings. I feel like I'm a little bit vanilla guy. How can I call it? I'm more traditional, or something like that. I feel like I'm so used to happy endings in the vast majority of cases, in the vast majority of creations, book, TV shows, and stuff, that when we lose, like, I don't know, the main hero or something like that, or something happens to the main characters of the story, it feels weird. This is why, if I have a control of something and I can decide on certain things, I'd rather end up on good terms with more or less everyone. Because I'm used to that, I don't know, you take any kind of a book or TV show, I don't know, Harry Potter for example. Harry Potter ends up killing Voldemort. Is it good or bad? I don't know, but I'm used to seeing all these things. In Lord of the Rings, for example, they end up getting rid of Sauron, or Sauron, whatever the pronunciation is. And there are a bunch of creations like that where everything ends in a good way. So I was thinking about it, and I realized that I don't want to see kind of a bad, especially when one thing that you should take into consideration is the fact that basically we're saying goodbye to our heroes. In the previous part, we ended the main game, and what happened is that we basically said goodbye to everyone. We're not gonna see anyone. We're not gonna see Yennefer or Triss. Or Triss, she might be coming back in Blood and Wine, but realistically speaking, she's not a. You can't speak with her. You cannot interact with her. Same for Ciri. Same for Dandelion. I think for Zoltan. I'm not sure whether you can find Dandelion in and Zoltan somewhere in the. Where was there in? Somewhere here or something. So you can't really interact with them, so the problem is that you're I don't want to end up battling, and because of in the vast majority of different books and TV shows and games, you end up on good terms, at least some kind of a happy ending. I'm kind of used to it, and I don't want to end up battling, someone dying or something like that. That's one thing that I wanted to say. And another thing was about, but I need to check. Wait a sec. What I need is to. I'm not sure where was I reading about it. Maybe it was on my phone. I was reading several things, but I'm not sure what. Okay, so this is the comment that I was looking for. So basically, let me open it on my phone. I can open it on my phone. Or can I? Um, uh, so there's this problem, but I can open it on my phone. They ask me to log in, but I can't. I mean, I'm logged in on my phone, but I can. I'll try to log in and I'll try to read it. Okay, found it. And this is something that I wanted to talk about. So, the choice between Triss and Yennefer.
Right, me lovers!
There's this guy. For answering the question.
We're gonna stand here like pricks on Valentine.
You laddie. Go ahead. We'll flail your skin.
Go for the horse and die!
Don't be a beard!
Foglet, Ghoul, Grave Hag. Wonder why he didn't turn in these trophies. Maybe they tried to cheat him then, too.
That's an interesting comment Geralt is making. Though I'm not sure what he means by trophy. Because here as a player we have this kind of trophies, you see. But what do you want me to do with them? I can only use one of them on my horse. So basically these trophies are on his wall. It's exactly the same, so I'm not sure what to think about it. I understand where he's kind of leading us to the fact that if he had a problem in this situation and he killed people, maybe he did with other people as well. Who knows? So maybe we made a wrong choice of sparing him. But that's it. Doesn't matter. So this choice between Triss and Yennefer. So this guy is riding. Okay, so there are a lot of. It's not me, it's the guy. I'm repeating just in case. Okay, so there are a lot of book readers and serious Witcher fans. So I thought, why not give my 2 cents on the matter? After all, I'm a newcomer to the saga and biased maybe, but for sure oblivious. And here's my uneducated choice that I made based on my vast knowledge of not having read the books and neither having played Witcher 1 and 2. in The Witcher 3, I chose Yennefer. And I had my reasons, sort of. Those reasons were, for the most part, not Yennefer being a beautiful vixen, because both, in fact, all sorceresses in the game were physically very attractive. No, I've been trying to figure out what made Yennefer completely knock Triss out of the game, for me, and it's not an easy one. As a person who hasn't read or played anything in this universe before The Witcher 3, I obviously have limited knowledge about these people's backstories. I looked the necessary information up, but I don't have any emotional investment into their past. What I do have an emotional investment is, however, the events of the last game. Which is interesting because he said that he can play The Witcher 2, so I'm not sure what is that supposed to mean.
Ghoul nest. Ought to just destroy it.
Thanks, my horrible on the ground. Continue. Let's start with our protagonist, Geralt. What I've learned about Geralt throughout the game is that he's a man, and not any macho sense of the word too. He's not just a grown man, but an adult person. He takes responsibility.
Hey,
Can I even right somewhere? Somewhere in the marsh. That's awful, man. I did a bad choice. My bad. He's a man, and not only match the sense of the word of it. He's not just a grown man, but an adult person. He takes responsibility. He makes decisions, he relies on wisdom, he protects his friends and loved ones, he has a sense of humor, as well as sense of honor, loyalty, decency. He understands that he has limitations, as well as that his actions have consequences. For now, nothing to add. He's just describing Geralt. It's his own perception. You can agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. He's a man, therefore I mean he's a mature adult. I'm saying this because the stark opposite of Geralt is Dandelion.
Let's dance.
Sure, he's funny, and of course we believe that he has a heart of gold, although we see him through Geralt's eyes. But Dandelion is, if you look beyond the funny exterior, an immature, irresponsible man-child. He constantly needs someone to save him from the troubles that he gets himself into. He's a womanizer, and I seriously didn't like some of his comments on women. See, his story...
damn, you're a lady.
It's impossible to walk in Velen without any troubles. You just constantly need to fight someone. That's awful. They keep coming and coming. pure, he's fun, and of course we believe that he has a heart of gold. Although we see him through girl. Okay, this one. See, his story in this game is a coming of age story. The womanizer man child growing up and settling down, and he still calls Priscilla the crowning achievement of his womanizer career. Whoa, that's unbelievably condescend and demeaning, and yes, sexist, but never mind that. My point is that Geralt is the protagonist and the kind of dad figure who solves everyone's problems because he's a responsible adult. And so then he explains Triss and Yennefer. Which brings me to the ladies, and I think the two primary love interests in this game represent two different types of personalities. See, Triss always struck me as younger than Yennefer. Younger, more cheerful at first sight, more warm-hearted. The things that Geralt helps her get through her troubles, they're not her own fault. In fact, I think it's only Triss, Yen and Ciri who Geralt doesn't have to save from themselves in this game, ironically. Regardless, to me, Triss was the girl you saved. Even though she was a leader type of her own, she relied on Geralt, looked up to him. She was a little bit of a damsel in my opinion, and there is nothing wrong with that. I absolutely respect it. It's the classic knight in shining armor and damsel in distress story. But the knight here is a monster hunting witcher, and the damsel is a kick-ass sorceress and the leader of Novigrad's underground magical runaway community. With Yennefer though, I felt different. She instantly felt like a partner, not someone you have to save. Not the girl that you step in front of protectively, but the woman who puts her shoulder to your shoulder, her back to your back. Like I said, this is a subjective opinion, but even with Yen's prickly behavior and often cold exterior, I think I felt some form of warmth behind the facade. Matured love, softness, caring, a true long-time partner and equal in every way. Now, it's not the end, but I'll continue reading. But it's something interesting how people see such things as something important and something her behavior is kind of compared to a partner. So clearly there is a problem here. There is a problem because if you start to if you speak with couples who live together for 20, 30, 50 years, 40, 50 years, there are always exceptions, but in the vast majority of cases you will find that in order to live that many years together, the most important thing is respect. You should respect each other, and you should always be available to listen to your partner. And this is something important, you see. I have a lot of examples. I have spoken with a lot of people, and I had the opportunity to speak with people who are together for 30 years and more. And one thing is sure, people who act like Yennefer does never end up living together for decades together.
Winds howling.
As I said, there are always exceptions, but me personally, I have never seen couples who are being sarcastic to each other and who are being too too responsible. I'm especially speaking about women right now. Women who are being too responsible, who are making those kind of difficult decisions and stuff. In the vast majority of cases, those are not the women that stayed together with men for years. In the vast majority of cases, they are either alone or they are dating someone for a couple of years, and then things kind of end badly. They break up. They don't particularly end badly, but they break up quite often. So it doesn't last, such relationship.
A witcher? And not a second too soon.
Understand you have a contract for me.
Oi, it's my brother Mickle. Been a week now since he took the women of Bellows into the hills.
The women of Bellows?
Bellows were a rich village, till the war passed through. Huts were burned down, larders cleared out, all the menfolk conscripted. Women were left to fend for themselves, without food nor shelter. No one wanted them. Redanians wouldn't let them into Novigrad, so Mickle took them to the old mines. Get them out of the rain at least. And I've not had word from him since.
All right, I'll look for your brother. How will I recognize him?
Shouldn't be hard. He was the only lad in a group of women.
Corpses aren't always in a condition where I can determine the sex.
Corpses? Take it back. They got lost is all. But, if worst comes to worst, well, he had calfskin ankle boots, work of master clogs. Told him not to wear them into the hills, it'd only ruin him. But he was so proud of him.
Think I know enough. Thanks.
So let's continue reading the story. This his subjective opinion. There is an interesting parallel between two moments in the game. At some point, Geralt goes to a formal reception, ball, soiree type of event with both of them.
Oh, you know? You just gotta sweet my little eye. They give you
His
enough.
blood fall on me, not on me young'uns.
It's kind of interesting that in the game, you see Tamara Stranger, presumed kidnapped. Certain things they disappear and adapt to the choices that you make in the game, but some things are not. Why didn't they remove these posters? That's an interesting situation. I'm not sure why is that. Well. Oh no. What are you doing? Roach is stuck in the fence. Okay. There's an interesting parallel between the two moments in the game. At some point, you know what? I'll just throw him there. Whatever. At some point, girl goes to a formal reception, ball, soiree type of event with both of them. With Triss at a manor outside of Novigrad, with Yen it's on Skellige. Both times, Geralt remarks that he doesn't like doublets and formal wear, and he finds it uncomfortable. The two sorceresses' answer, however, are different. And this is, I think it's a very good comparison that he gives. But in the essence, where the conclusions that he's making are absolutely wrong. Absolutely, okay. Not absolutely, but they are wrong in a perspective of when we're speaking about a long-term relationship and a partner. What Triss answers. Triss chuckles. I'll be sure to admire valiant suffering. Yennefer. Yes, you also dislike underdone meat and being teleported. And those two answers to me carry in them the essence of the sorceress's respective relationship with Geralt. Triss is sweet. She has an idealized view of the Witcher, and when you take her to the event, it's like a date in the very early stages of a relationship. Sweet remarks, compliments, romance all the way. Yennefer, though, her behavior to me is that of a long-time partner, like a girlfriend or a wife. She doesn't look up to girl. She doesn't look up to girl, but looks at him like an equal partner and demands the same. She's not as sweet as Tris, not as cheerful. It's a different bond. You see? There is clearly a problem in his conclusions, because for him, Yennefer's answer is answer of a long-time partner. But I can guarantee you that people who are partners for 20, 30 years, 40 years together, or the vast majority of their lives are partners, they don't make such comments. Sometimes it happens. Nobody's perfect. But it's very important that relationship, a healthy relationship, develops in the healthy environment. It doesn't seem like it's a very healthy environment, you see, making such comments or such remarks, you see. It's important to make those little jokes, you see, as Tris is doing. It kind of, without sabotaging your mood or something like that, it makes you kind of laugh and you forget about the situation. This is what quite often guys do when they're speaking with girls. They are supporting them, but they're making this kind of, you know, little small jokes that are not offensive, which makes you think about something else and you forget that you might have some problems or something like that. With Yennefer's comment, you don't feel like it's a it will help you anyhow. It's like you saying, I don't like pineapples. Yeah, but you don't like kiwis and bananas as well. What is this comment will how this comment will help me? It's not gonna help me anyhow. And that's the problem, you see. People with such personalities and with such behaviors, it's clearly a toxic behavior. It might not be toxic to the point where you insult someone or something like that, but it's not a positive comment. It doesn't bring anything positive to the conversation that you have, you see, because sometimes everyone can complain and everyone can say, well, I don't like something. I don't like let's say you go to some place and there's a cake, a pineapple cake, and you say, oh man, I don't like pineapples, you see. It's important in this situation to kind of move the attention of the person to something else. Well, maybe you don't like pineapple cakes, but there are other good desserts there or something like that. Or there are, I don't know, if the main dish is good, then it doesn't matter. You don't have to eat the cake, you see. It's important to kind of move the focus of from negativity to something positive, from negative to positive. In this situation, Yennefer, yes, you also dislike underdone meat and being teleported. This comment doesn't bring anything positive, you see. It doesn't create a positive vibe or positive mood for the upcoming event.
Takes strength to do something like this.
And so this guy continues. Triss sends out Geralt to get a proper clothes and mask for them both and compliments him on his effort. Yennefer prepares Geralt a set of evening attire, leaves it out on the bed and calmly compliments his outlook. She's not complimenting. If you remember when if you don't choose the clothes that she decided you should wear, she makes a comment, which is another absolutely pointless comment. You don't look like me, we don't have the same colors or something like that, you see. This comment doesn't bring anything to the conversation, and not only that, it clearly shows that she's not respecting his choice. If you choose something else, then that's it. Your partner is free, you're not controlling him, and that's not a. It doesn't make any sense to have a partner which is completely obedient to you. Because if you want someone obedient, you can just be alone. You can be with yourself, kind of. You know, you don't have to. You don't have to date someone, and I don't want to say ruin their lives, but to bring anything toxic. If you want someone who listens to you, you are listening yourself. You have your thoughts in your head. You are controlling yourself. Just be
Monster
alone.
tracks.
And that's it. And so if Geralt is that figure, a problem solver, a savior, a moral compass, Yennefer is a mom figure, uncompromising, deadly, strong-willed, resilient, resourceful. To me, she had the same type of mature adult vibe that Geralt had. And when these two were racing on the horseback towards the tower at the end to save Ciri, it felt like no matter the apocalyptic hellscape that surrounded them, it was Geralt and Yennefer coming to save their daughter, who were the two most dangerous people on the battlefield. Because if you hurt their family in any way, I hope you're in heaven half an hour before Geralt and Yennefer find you. And you see, it's a very it's not a correct vision of parents, because I've seen parents like that, parents who are like, yes, I will do anything to protect my kid. I've seen parents like that. The problem is that despite the fact that they're maybe protecting their kids, the problem is that they're not giving enough to their kids. They're not giving enough attention. Yes, they're protecting them. Yes, they're feeding them. Yes, they're giving them clothes or something like that. But in reality, what is way more important than all of that is the attention and the education that parents are supposed to give to their children. You can't even imagine how many parents they think that by working all the time, they will give a better future, better education to their kids. So what they do is that they spend all their time at work. It's especially the case for dads. They spend all the time at work. Yes, they make good money. But what's the point of that money if you almost never see your kid? Your kid either spends time with your mom all the time, or even worse, because your mom doesn't see her husband regularly enough. They maybe spend a couple of hours together in the evening, and then they go to sleep, and in the morning he leaves and goes to his job, and that's it. At some point I've seen moms who start to, I don't know, visit their friends and accord less time to their kids, which is something bad, because in the end what happens is that these parents make wrong conclusions. I will make my kid do something like, I don't know, let's make him visit some additional sport section or whatever. Let's make him learn languages. Let's make the kid go to take dance classes. Let's make him do something else. So in the end, these parents make wrong conclusions, and what happens is that yes, they have money, they it seems like they're living happy lives, but in reality, kid is missing the parents' attention. You don't spend enough time with your parents. You don't speak with them enough. You don't laugh with them enough. You don't you don't go out with them enough, and what happens is that your kid starts to look for this attention somewhere else. I've seen so many parents like that. Parents who are being toxic. Parents who are being busy. And this is it's not something good. It's not a really good it's not something particularly good. That's what a lot of people believe, but in reality, it's not that good. And well, I really didn't want to speak about it. I'd rather not speak about myself. I really would rather avoid it. But the best example that I can give you, so weird to speak about it. I'm not related to them. I think one of the reasons why I'm actually speaking about it and I can speak about it is that I understand that I'm not related to them. The choices that you make, your own choices. They are not. It's not the choices of your parents, and your parents' choices are not yours. Yes, maybe they're your parents, but you're still different people, and you can act differently. If you see that your parents, for example, doing something wrong, it doesn't mean that you have to repeat their mistakes. A lot of people do that, but not everyone. And so what I can, the example that I wanted to give you is the example of my mom. Their relationship.
Eggs will hatch soon. Gotta destroy them.
The relationship between her and her husband.
Blood, flesh, digestive juices. Food for its young. Ericus, a venomous one.
Is not the best one. Yes, both of them act exactly as Yennefer and Geralt. They will protect their kid no matter the cost. I can guarantee you that. But does it mean that the kid is growing up in a healthy environment? Does it mean that I have a little brother? Does it mean that he's growing up in a healthy environment? No, clearly not. And I see that. I see their quarrels sometimes. I know about them. I know that they have, sometimes they're having problems. They might even insult each other. It's not normal. And so yes, I've seen parents like that. Parents who think that, yeah, we'll protect our child no matter what.
Mother can't be far.
But that's not how it works. Life is a little bit more complicated, and trust me, one of the most important things that a parent should show and can show is the empathy and good behavior, educating your child by your own good example. What can Yennefer educate her and transfer to her potential child? That you should always question the choices of your own kind of man husband, because this is what she does. She always questions Geralt's choices. Is it really healthy? When it's one time or two times, okay. Or if you make it in a kind of an adequate way, when you say, well, I don't know, honey, maybe it wasn't the best choice, maybe you should have done differently, look, we have a bad outcome, but still in a respectful manner, the way Yennefer does things, it's not a respectful manner. Definitely not.
A shoe bearing Master Clog's mark. All that's left of the body. Putting yourself to the sword, all the better.
It doesn't burn? And so it's not a healthy thing to do. While I'm not, and so there's this problem that people said that, well, when you know the background of Triss and the books, the way she acted and stuff, that's true. Maybe for some people it might be difficult, but I think that you need to look at things as a matter of fact. What is the point to speak about some kind of a background in the books and stuff if you're playing a video game? Video game is different. Maybe Yennefer looks a little bit different, girl looks a little bit different. Girl in the video game, as far as I've heard, he's more muscular than he's supposed to be. He's a little bit thinner in the books. Maybe doesn't even have a facial hair. No, not sure. And Triss is a little bit different. Everyone is a little bit different. So what's the point to look at it as some kind of a hypothetical thing if you can look at it as a matter of fact? As a matter of fact, Triss is sweet and nice in the video game. That's how a good partner should be. And as he said, despite all those good and sweet qualities, she's still not someone who is absolutely weak and relies on you 100%. She can do things alone. She's planning to evacuate mages from Novigrad. She got other things to do. She got a lot of job, you see. So it's not like she's like a plant. You need to take care of her all the time. She can do things on her own. You can help her, but if you don't help her, she can do it fine alone. And that's the thing, you see. And as I said, it's not because you can be together with someone for a lot of time. It doesn't mean that you have a healthy and a respectful relationship. Because I have examples. As I said, the example of my mom. Yes, it's been 13 years that she's living with her husband. It seems a lot, but it's not a healthy relationship. It's a toxic relationship, and she's the best example of how you should not do. You see, and this is what I quite often when I speak about parents and education and different things. This is the example that I give. You can learn from your parents in two different manners. Either by their good example, and so you try to replicate their good example, or by their bad example, so you can see how you should not do. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, it's not really enough, so they kind of commit the same mistakes as their parents, but it's not the case for everyone. So I have an example of I have a friend who's married probably. I think that it's been like maybe 10 years that they're together or something like that. Now, I don't want to say that it's like the ultimate solution, but he's Christian, so don't take this as a wrong piece of info, because in the end there are Christian couples that break up as well, so it doesn't mean anything. There are people who, even despite them saying that they believe in God and they follow biblical principles, they live happy lives and they don't have any problems. So it's not true. A lot of people pretend to be. In Matthew 7:20-21, you can read all Matthew 7. There are a lot of interesting things there, but in Matthew 7:21, it says that in the end, a lot of people will say, Lord, Lord, haven't we prophesied in your name? Haven't we made miracles in your name? Haven't we done good things for you, or something like that? And I will tell them, be gone, you who do evil things, or something like that. So clearly, no, the beginning of this the sentence, of the phrase, is that not everyone who says Lord, Lord will enter the kingdom of heaven, which clearly shows that not everyone who says, oh, I'm Christian, I'm following Christian principles and everything is fine, will be with God. So he's Christian, and when I visit him, I clearly see the difference. They are having a very respectful relationship. I've never heard, it's been 7 years that I know him, they never had a single conflict. It's crazy. He's super patient. He's the most patient person in the in the entire universe, I want to say. He's the most patient person that I've ever seen, seriously. He got 2 brothers and 1 sister, and they're all super patient. They're a whole family. That is crazy. I've never seen something like that. They never, no matter what happens, he will never lose his mind, and he will start acting weirdly. Seriously, I respect him. It's crazy how I respect him. My respect is unlimited for this person. And so he really gives a good example. I can compare, you see, him and a respectful relationship, and not a respectful relationship in case of my mom. You see? So there are a lot of people who live together, yet they're not really they're not having a respectful relationship. They are more like being together by some kind of a habitude. You see, just because we know each other, what's the point to look for someone else?
Greetings.
I have bad news. An Eric has killed your brother. If it's any comfort, I avenged him.
Comfort? Of course it's no comfort. And I told Mickle, why are you so eager to help strangers? Sit your arse down, or there'll be misfortune. Well, what are you still standing there? Can't get your fill of others' misfortune?
No, I prefer porridge and gravy like everybody else. Pay me and I'll go buy some.
I'd have paid ye if you brought Mickle back alive.
What a weird situation. He refuses to give you your money.
Risked my life. Think I deserve something for that.
Here. Now piss off.
People are so weird.
Filling your coin
looking
purse,
good,
Billy,
if I
boy,
tell you.
Billy, eh?
And so you can say, well, maybe you haven't seen everything, like certain people say. It's not about seeing everything. It's been 7 years that I see him regularly, every week actually, to be completely honest. We attend the same meetings 2 times per week. Doesn't matter. Not the point. The point is that I have seen him in different situations, and never ever he lost his temper and started to do weird things or say weird things. Not a single time he used a bad word. This is seriously, man. I wish I was him. I wish I was it's not my. How can I explain it? It's not like I'm trying to be him. I'm never be him, because we have different visions on certain things. For example, he's more of a stable guy. He's more like he likes a stable life. They had a kid a couple of years ago, and so he likes to live where he lives right now. But me, for example, I don't like the city. It's a small city. There's nothing to do here, and I'd like to see the world. So I will never be like him. But when when I say I wish I was like him, it's in terms of patience. To never lose your patience, be always adequate, never use any bad words or something like that. I'm trying as much as it's possible to be patient, to not lose my jump. To not lose my kind of a.
Might want to look around some. Trail's fresh.
To not lose my adequate behavior.
Wasn't a
under
fair fight.
Any
Didn't stand a chance.
circumstances. It's true that it's hard sometimes. When people provoke you, you're trying to be as calm as it's possible. It's not always easy. A lot of things have changed in the past 2 or 3 years, and I even see that. I've made some videos. I rewatched some of my videos from 2 years ago, and I clearly see a difference, that a lot of things have changed. Even in terms of bad words, I'm completely avoiding them right now.
Definitely came through here.
2 years ago, I loved myself way more than
Blood hasn't even dried.
I lie myself right now.
Definitely came through here.
So I see a difference, but it takes a very long time, you see. And I understand that it's all for the greater good, for the positive result, you see. Because it's very. I understand how, by speaking with him, I understand how actually attractive is when the person is patient and adequate with you. Even if you ask some maybe silly questions, though there are no such thing as silly questions, you see. Wait a sec. Wait a sec. Okay, I'm back. So, I clearly see a difference between when someone is patient and respectful with you and when someone's not.
Another victim.
Yana, my dearest son, ill is our lot of plate. Singa's husband ship crashed in a storm during his last expedition. Bjorn survived thanks to the gods, but weeks will pass before his captains build another, and meanwhile life must go on. He weren't taken on for the building, so he's earning no coin. We're eating our winter stocks now, and I fear to think that we'll do when they run out. That's why I'm sending Singa to you and asking for your help on behalf of us all. If you can find work for Singa and then Bjorn and I will come to Karak Trollden to stay with you. Perhaps there is some work for Bjorn with you at the forge, and if work is scarce around Karak Trollden as well, let's Singa a few coppers at least, and I'll give it all back with interest once we're out of this plight. With belief in your good heart, and thanks in advance, your loving mother. She died. That's sad. They always give us sad stories. Okay, let's travel. Well, I wanted to do the Witcher contract, right? But I ended up finding a random crash site, the Cyclops and dead woman. That's sad. So I clearly see a difference between
Faster.
between a patient behavior and someone who's respectful towards you, and when it's not. And it's amazing, you see. This is something that you need to work on. It takes a lot of time to change yourself. I wasn't really raging or something like that.
Miners' camp. Could find some clues.
I will never finish this quest. Okay, I'll make the miner's quest and then I'll deliver the letter to the sun.
He had a rich vein, but something went wrong. Footprints. Human.
And it's amazing, you see. He's a really good example of how people should be. But it requires a lot of work on yourself. It requires a lot of things, you see. And I probably will never be like him. But I'll do my best to work on my qualities, to work on myself, to actually be very patient and respectful towards other people, you see. And it takes, as I said, it takes a lot of time. In video games, for example, especially multiplayer video games, they bring only the best, the worst qualities of your personality. So this is why it's important to sometimes to take kind of a difficult decision to maybe limit something or to completely abandon them.
Wounds caused by a blunt instrument. Ribcage smashed in.
Especially games like mobile games like
Someone
Dota
crawled through here
or
with a
LOL
broken leg.
or Apex Legends, maybe Call of Duty or games like that. Maybe even MMORPGs, where people clearly are toxic.
Wind didn't fell these trees. Something else did. Something big.
You have to make this the decision to actually get better as a person. And so all of that, all what I said was basically to tell you that
Crushed bones. Human bones. A rock troll looks like.
was to tell you that in a relationship, you cannot be toxic. You need to be patient and you need to be willing to listen to your partner, and understand him or her. And with such comments that Jennifer is making, you're not gonna have a healthy relationship on a long term. You might be living together by habitude, as I said, just like, for example, my mom does. That's my own conclusions. She might say, oh no, it's not like that, it's different. Though we already had our discussions about it, but it doesn't matter. The point is that when you allow yourself to lose your temper and start maybe using bad words towards your partner, saying like, are you stupid or what? It's obvious, oh man. This is clearly toxic. And this is what I've seen her husband doing. I've heard him. Or one for example, phrase that I've probably recorded in my mind for some reason. It's very weird. When they had a conflict and he said, I'm whatever the age, he was 41, 2, 3, whatever. I'm 40 years old. I won't change. You see? I absolutely disagree with that. It's all about your desire to change, actually, the will to change. Of course, when you're not willing to change, you're not gonna change. But you can change no matter your age. Because trust me, I've heard people who say, I'm 20 years old, I'm not gonna change. I'm 30 years old, I'm not gonna change. I'm 40 years old, I'm not gonna change. I'm 50 years old, I'm not gonna change. And it continues like that. It's not about the age, it's about your personality and about your desire to change. What you should understand is that life is about changes. It's important to work on yourself. It's important to get better as a person.
Dead. Just dead.
And I really don't like people like that. I have no respect for people.
Extensive bruising and abrasions. Broken bones.
I have no respect for people who say, I'm not gonna change, I'm something or something like that, who are being too stubborn. But once again, you to not have respect and to be respectful, those are two different things, you see. I don't have respect for people, for girls who sell their naked photos on internet. But do they care about my respect? Probably not. But if one day you meet such a girl or something like that, you can speak with her respectfully. I disapprove her actions, or their actions, but whatever.
Silver vein. What they came for. What they died for.
So that's it. Respecting someone and being respectful to someone, those are two different things. I'm being respectful with everyone. Do I respect everyone? I respect only a few people that I know. Respect is something that you need to deserve, that you need to gain by showing your good actions. I respect my friend for his patience, for his for being adequate, for being always being positive, you see. I really respect him. But as I said, in order to forge that respect, we needed a lot of time to speak and to discover each other and see him in different situations. I've never seen him lose his temper. They said speak it.
Stop it. I want to talk. Wait, I want to talk.
Talk? But you can't. Or call you wham-a-wham like this.
Exactly. Why do you wham 'em?
Things in walk troll house. Trolls say outmans, but they wham-a-wham troll rocks. So troll wham too.
I don't know. Kind of a philosophical choice. You should not kill creatures, right? That are more or less intelligent. This creature seems to be intelligent, more or less. He asked them to go, he didn't attack them. So, it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure what to do. It seems kind of obvious, but it's not obvious at all, and that's the problem. What seems to be obvious is not really obvious.
From what you say, they were asking for trouble. I'll let it slide this time. But kill any other humans, and I'll come back and cut off your head. Understand?
No, words are words many. Hurt head.
Let me try again. Wham-a-wham mans again. I'll swish-a-swash-a-swunk you.
Oh, no more troll wham. And this man take, for be good man, and no swisher swash.
Why are you attacking me? That is so weird. He gave me money for being a good man and now I should kill him? What is happening? Is this a bug or something? Why he's attacking me. That is kind of weird. I need to Google it. What a weird situation. You can start this quest from the notice board in Blend there or by finding one of the dead bodies on the road west of Miner's Camp. If you start with the notice, talk to Gyar, who will say they sent some men to see if they could mine any silver up north. With that, head to Miner's Camp and examine the silver in the box and the footprints. Then follow them to a body. There is also where you can pick up the quest. This is also where you can pick up the quest without doing the notice. After examining the body here, you'll see some tracks you can follow, which will also take you by some toppled trees. Before reaching the cave entrance, where some human remains can be examined, and Geralt will conclude it's a rock troll, earning 25 experience. Before heading all the way to see a wham, go down to the cave path to the left to examine a couple more bodies in a silver vein on the wall. As you approach the troll, he'll be pissed and attack you. But once his health is down enough, or if you run away without attacking him, he'll finally talk, revealing that the people came into his home and despite him asking them to leave, hammered away at the silver veins in the cave, so he killed them. You can now choose to heal him or let this slide. If you let it slide, he'll agree not to do it again, giving you 25 experience and 50 gold, and give some silver ore. If you choose to kill him instead, you'll get the Cave Troll Trophy and Caroline along with the Troll Mutagen. Caroline is a sword. Whatever you choose, go inform Gyar on the outcome. If you spare the troll, he'll reveal they heard. If you spare the troll, he'll reveal they heard mentions of one, but choose to ignore this and get the silver anyways, and annoyed that you let it live. Yeah? It, troll. Why they? It. Whatever. Will only give you 100 experience and 50 gold. If you killed Wham instead, he'll be pleased and gives 200 experience and 203 gold. Experience points received for this quest are not affected by it. That is so weird. There's a bug. Why don't notes? Wham is like any other rock troll fight. If the troll has a damage over the time skill applied to him, like bleeding, when the conversation starts, the troll will immediately attack you after the conversation ends, even if you decided to spare him. Oh, okay, makes sense. Wow. This is why he attacked me. It explains a lot. And I ended up killing him. I didn't want to kill him. Can I restart? Well, what a weird situation. In any case, it doesn't matter. So all of that, all what I told you was basically to tell you that it's important to
What? From what?
No.
Let me try it.
Okay. He's alive now. Is there anything else here? Oh, there's a chest. So that's it. So this is why it's very important to be patient, respectful and stuff. In the case of Yennefer, you can construct, you can build a healthy relationship on the basis of making sarcastic jokes, always questioning the authority and the decisions of someone, and just being overall cold-hearted and stuff like that. It doesn't mean that everyone should be like trees. We can be different. What you should understand is that you can be less emotional. We can all be emotional. We can be less emotional. Guys on average are less emotional than girls. But it's important to work on yourself and try to get rid of those negative qualities, because you will not you won't be able to have a long-term relationship if you are not doing anything, if you're not acting positively and nicely in your relationship. And that's it. This is why, how can you choose Yennefer over Triss if clearly Yennefer is being toxic? And you see his answer and his kind of logic, there is some kind of logic in his explanation, but you see his logic is wrong. It's wrong because I explain why, because I explain why, and I see that a lot of people are actually using some similar logic to his. And so we end up, if you look at the statistics, what is the divorce rate in the vast majority of countries, in European countries, in America and stuff? It's somewhere around 50%, 40-50%. Is it normal? Is it how it's supposed to be? You're supposed to be, people are swearing we will be together in any circumstances, whether we're happy or sad or whatever, we will be partners for life. 2 years later they separate, 5 years later they separate. Is it normal? No. You see? and that's a big problem. And it's exactly because people are not. There are people who are cheating. There are people who are not being respectful, abusing, and doing a bunch of weird things.
Greetings, Watcher.
Your miners are dead. Not one of you knew a troll lived there?
We'd heard mention of it, but
But greed won out over reason.
not your place to judge us. What about the troll?
Left him in peace. Advise you to do the same.
Turn curd, you mean? What kind of monster slayer are you? Out of my sight. You were there in the keep when the bluebird.
I'm on my side. Who are you to judge us, you see? Very nice logic. We will attack monsters just to make some money. Who are you to judge us? I'm not judging you. If you heard there's a troll there, what did you expect? And why do you want me to kill it? Just so you can mine and take all the gold from there and silver? That is sad, man. Okay, what's the next contract? Contract dragon. Is there a blacksmith somewhere? No. So I don't believe in the books everything is possible, but I don't believe that being with Yennefer is a good choice. Triss is clearly better, and it's sad to see that people they kind of think, oh yes, Yennefer, she's been a grown-up woman, she fits girls very good and stuff. In the books, because it's some writer that describes the story. But the problem, reality is different. In the video game, if you can choose, Triss is less toxic. And with Triss, your life will be, as you saw. Look at the ending with Triss. What they said? They said guests were always welcome. They had some good smells of something. And everything was fine. With Yennefer, what happens is that you kind of Yennefer and Geralt retire, and they live like some kind of palace, wherever they are, living alone in some hut and stuff. You should communicate with people, you should speak with them, you should invite people.
Oh, a witcher. Hear about the dragon, I reckon.
Tell me about this dragon. What's it look like, for instance?
You don't know? What kind of monster slayer are you? It's got scales, wings, claws. A dragon's a dragon. No point gabbing. Just go kill it, before it makes more corpses.
Witchers don't usually kill dragons, but I'll look into it. You said something about victims, right?
2 brothers, Askell and Nillis, went out to hunt, turned into prey. Wounds so horrible, even I went weak in the knees when they brought them in. And I've seen my share of bloody harm. Been on 32 raids, from Povus to the mountains.
Fascinating story, I'm sure, but I'm more interested in these wounds. Can you describe them?
Look for yourself. Family's only now preparing the boy's funeral. Their corpses still lie in their home, at the village's northern end. But treat the bodies with respect, mind ye, as tradition demands.
I'm not sure why you... I feel like you hear some kind of an echo or something. You hear the... I'll rewatch this video. It feels so weird when during dialogues I feel like you hear it from my screen and the mic. The mic shouldn't capture what I hear on my screen. From my monitor, I mean.
Well, well. Another come to gawk at the dragon's victims. Perhaps I should start charging for the pleasure.
Perhaps. I wouldn't pay you, though. See enough corpses in my line of work. I'm a witcher. Here because I took the contract for that dragon of yours.
Oh, forgive me. I didn't know. How can I help?
Might not be easy for you, but I have to look at their injuries.
At least you asked me permission, not like the others. If it'll help you kill the beast, fine. Do as you will.
Where were the bodies found?
In the glade past the river. The lads, they liked that place since they were tykes. They'd go there to catch hares.
That's everything for now. Thanks for your help. And I promise to avenge them. Claw marks, bite marks, but no fire damage. Interesting.
Blacksmith place. Gotcha. So why I talked about the divorce rate? Look at the statistics, and look just on people around you, your friends maybe, or some co-workers or whatever. Look what is the average relationship duration. Based on what I see, based on my conversations with people, on average it lasts 1 to 3 years. That's the average. I rarely see relationships that last 5, 6 years, 10 years. That's rare.
You're back.
Can I sell something? This one. Wow, it's way better. Whatever. No! What did I sell? No. 2K, look at that. Oh my lord. Well, I made a mistake, but look at that price. I can control Z. I can't use it. 25 versus 72, but it's a heavy arm.
So long.
Smooth.
I'll use them because clearly 25 armor it's a really small amount where they are. 72 versus 25. I need to change something. It's funny because last time I played I used them as well. Nilfgaardian gauntlets, whatever they are. So statistically speaking, if you look at people, the average duration of a relationship nowadays in our actual world is 1 to 3 years. I'd say it's like around 2 years. Is it normal that every 2 years you break up and find someone else?
That jade.
No, it's not normal.
Not the Alma.
And clearly there's something wrong, but a lot of people don't understand it, you see. So I'm just speaking about this guy. His understanding of a good relationship and good qualities are clearly their own ones. A good partner is someone who doesn't create you additional problems in your life. It's someone who helps you solve them and who helps you to endure different difficult situations.
Pretty weak dragon. Couldn't lift a cow. Just tore it up and left it here.
Yet Yennefer is exactly the type that creates you additional problems. You're coming back home and she starts to make sarcastic comments or something like that. Not all the time.
Cow's blood. Might lead me to the lair.
But I clearly see it. seeing her comments, seeing her actions, the end justify the means. It's not a partner with who you will live 20, 30, 40 years in a peaceful environment. And a lot of guys, they kind of like this kind of, sassy girls, daring girls who are like, oh, I'm a model or whatever. So silly. I'm a model or something like that, But in the end, after some time of this constant nervous nightmare, of this constant problems, trying to explain something to her, they abandon such girls, but they end up having the same psychological problems as these girls do.
Bones shattered.
It ain't
Fell
worth
from high
it.
up. A nest. A forktails looks like, but it's empty. No point waiting. Gotta rustle up some bait.
Oh, it's that tower that I didn't manage to climb. And it's so funny because I really am. Oh man, I love to analyze all these things. I have spoken with so many people about all these things, and so many girls end up being traumatized by this kind of relationships where they start to. It's almost the same situation, but it's the polar opposite, because it's not a guy who's dating a toxic girl, it's a girl who dates a toxic guy. They end up with this kind of bad boys and stuff, and they end up cheating on them. And the story of the Argentinian girl that I told you, it was in, I don't know, where, 25 or something like that, when I was at Skellige and I was helping more work. A girl dated someone when she was 16 years old, a brief summary, but you can listen to that story in the I'll try to leave the link in the description of the video. She dated a guy when she was 16 years old. I think he cheated on her or something like that. He betrayed her. It left a psychological trauma on her, and it all led her to the situation where she ended up dating another guy who was bad as well, and she ended up being a single mother at 23 years old while she was dreaming to go to study to Germany. She was learning German. She was from Argentina. It's mind-blowing, man, especially when you kind of speak with such people, when you try to when you communicate with them, just like, hey, what's up, and then they start to tell you all the stories. Man, the stories are crazy. I love it's kind of funny because I love to analyze the stories, and sometimes you end up feeling like you are in the story. Well, you're not in the story, but you kind of, it's crazy. I don't know how to explain that, but it's something. It's really something fascinating. It's sad that there's one thing that I understand is that I'm sad that I am growing up, and I'm sad that I'm getting older, because I understand that when people are 20 years old, they are more willing to speak than people who are 30 or 40 years old. And to find such people with who you can speak, usually when you're like 30 or 35 or 40 years old, when you speak with people who are 20 years old, they're probably not gonna talk with you much. Maybe it depends on the situation, but if you take some kind of a language exchange apps or something like that, where you speak with them, I give you example of Tandem or Meef or whatever. There are a bunch of apps that where you can practice your languages and speak with people. And so I understand that it's sad that I'm getting older, because at some point I will kind of lose this kind of connection to potential connection to other people, and to this ability to hear their stories, because Because obviously when you're 40 years old, you as I said, it's way more difficult to speak with people who are 20 years old. It's more difficult because I understand that a lot of people, they get stereotypes and they get prejudices, and so in the vast majority of cases, for example, when a guy who's 40 years old who speaks with a girl who's 20 years old or something like that, because there are a lot of guys who actually hit on them, who are looking for wives or something like that, girls are being very kind of closed. They're being restrictive in terms of who they talk to. So you either lie and you put your photos from 10 years ago or something like that. It's not my case, but hypothetical situation, right? You either put your photos when you are 20 years old so you can speak, but in such a situation you kind of lie. Or if you don't want to lie, the vast majority of people won't speak with you when you're 40 years old, and they will see your real age. I'm 20, you're 40, what do you want? And I kind of understand them. Because like, I feel a little bit weird if someone who's 40 years old, if it's in situations like that, you see. Now, when you maybe visit a church or when you're at work, there is something in common, so you can speak about different things. But when you randomly speak with people on internet, kind of your background, the languages that you speak, and your age still matters. So when you're 40 years old, it will be way more difficult to speak with people and discover all those stories. And that's, as I said, it's kind of sad, but I can't control.
So will you
my
help
age,
with the
unfortunately.
dragon, or not?
No one can. We're all getting older.
Found your
Sad.
dragon's nest, but I'll need bait to kill it. A sheep, for instance.
Ah, I see. You're gonna stuff it with sulfur.
Another ally of the brave little shoemaker. No, I'll manage without sulfur. Just need a sheep, unseasoned.
Fine. There's one I can give you. A bit mangy, but it'll do. Know how to get a sheep to move where you want? Gotta drive it like a sheepdog. Go at it from the left, it'll go right. Go at it from the right, it'll go...
If dogs have figured it out, think I'll manage as well. How do you call a sheep? Here, sheepy, sheepy? Hey, sheep, come here. We got us a fork-tailed hound. Giddy up, sheep. Move along.
I just want to use Axie. Let's go. Let's go. Move. And so even though I feel really sad and bad about such stories, I understand that I can't help everyone. But at the same time, man, I love hearing those stories. People are really... humans are like different universes. Everyone's got his own perspective, everyone his own vision, different experiences. And analyzing those things actually allow you not only to give some examples of those stories to other people, but it also allows you to get better as a person because you're learning how you should not do, you see? You analyze the stories, you see the red flags, what you should not do, what things that you should avoid. Even man, I love it. Poor creature suffering and I'm laughing, man.
You died for a good cause, sheep. Rest in peace.
Wait, you did? Why? How? The forktail didn't attack the sheep. I'm disappointed. I don't like the sacrifice for the greater good. Though it makes me think about Shikamaru. When they played in Naruto, he played shogi, right? That's the name of the game. It's like chess. And he said he described the strategy that sometimes you need to sacrifice a pawn in order for your king to win, or in order to win, and to bait your enemy. And yeah, that's interesting. An interesting theory. That's a necessary sacrifice that you need to make in order to win, or for the greater good. Though the ship is still kind of sad.
Tend to your
And it
own
hurts
problems.
horrible. As if something
Well,
was
I'd say-
tearing me apart from inside.
I'll be toe to toe with you.
I've been already.
Well, I suppose this village is not for horse riding.
So will you help with the dragon, or not?
Solved your problem.
And? That it? Tell me more. Did the dragon breathe fire, spit venom?
That was no dragon. It was a forked tail. Looks similar, but it's smaller, less dangerous.
Less dangerous, you say? But your reward ought to be less as well.
Listen, we agreed to a specific sum.
Aye, for a dragon. If I'd known it was some forky tail, I'd have killed it myself. That's that.
I'll never forget what you did for us.
People are always trying to cheat on me. It's crazy. How many cards are there left in the wild? Valen 2, Novigrad 4, Novigrad 4, Skelligals 1. How can I even find it? Valen 2, Novigrad 4. Valen 2, Novigrad 4. Come on, man. Novigrad. Novigrad is a city. I'm not sure where I can find it. So that's it. So I love the stories, and the stories, they actually teach us something important, that you need to always be careful. You cannot let your guard down. You need to think and analyze everything. It's very important. Oh, yes, maybe in books you should choose Triss. You should choose Yennefer, and Geralt chooses Yennefer. But in the video game, Triss is not a toxic partner, which is clearly better. No matter the background, it's hard to choose Yennefer, seeing how she acts in different situations. The end does not always justify the means, so ready to use necromancy just to do something? How deep can you sink? How low can you fall in this situation? You see? I don't even know where I'm going. Maybe I should shopkeep. This is the Vivaldi, right? Maybe over there.
My shameless Jew tramp.
Freya, come here.
Maybe I found the quest.
Maybe.
Come, sir, feast your eyes on my lovely baubles.
That's
Don't know that I'm gonna buy anything, but I sure wouldn't mind a few rounds of Gwent.
now we need to square turret. Yeah. Nine. Now Lucifer moved into line. This is good in the air. Beautiful. Can I even win this one? It's funny, he could have used it before, but he didn't. Guess lucky me. Close, but not quite. It's true that I'm so used to play with spies that it feels like I'm really close to losing everything every time when I play something else. Squirtle and monsters are difficult. Are difficult at least when you compare them to Novigrad or Northern Realms.
Psst. Greyhead, come here.
What is it?
We've a problem, Master Witcher. A mate of ours got injured, and we can't seem to find him.
Poor lad could bleed to death.
You tracked many a monster. Would you sniff our friend out as well? Willing to pay?
Why not? Short delay won't hurt.
Lead the way, Master Witcher. Quick as you can, though. Poor lad needs help.
Need some kind of lead first. Any clues?
Yeah, he ran. Toward the port. Came out of the sewers.
Sewers? Should be an easy scent to follow.
Novigrad Coast City too. That's interesting.
If there's to be mud, might as well be rain.
Blueprints. Traces of sewer slime.
Won't be easy to find mages in this mob.
Easier than you think. You just need to set the proper bait.
Meaning?
Start a rumour that your father's ill, and only
Normally
a potion will
we
save him.
didn't.
It'll take some coin to spread that around.
Don't worry about that. His Royal Majesty's been right generous with funds
Normally
for the
Radovid
city's
is dead
cleansing.
and things should get better.
A whole
Apparently
day
it doesn't
wasted.
change much.
Just look at the freak.
Blood. Fresh.
It's like the game is stuck during Radovid's rule. Look at that.
Just across the
The
river.
Redanian army needs you now,
Soldier in the
and
city.
Wesley become a hero of the North.
Oh! Many thanks to you, Geralt.
Non-human, are you? Look for your kind beyond the wounds.
Take pity, sir. I've a sick child. Even more misery besides.
Thanks for
What
your
are you
help,
bothering
Geralt.
him, you grub?
We'd not have
Can't
nabbed
you
the
see he's
bastard
busy?
twice.
Fall upon your knees before the...
It's funny, it's part of the city where we almost never go, because there is nothing to do here. Not a single quest here.
There's naught to
Wow.
be done about it. That famous bard, what's his name? The
We're
celebrity.
visiting now,
They
right?
wanted to call-
It's better than nothing, I guess.
Tell me you jest.
Oi, there's our friend.
Gotcha, Horson.
That was 5 stone of the purest fist tech you put to the torch. Do you know what it was worth?
All right, Witchman. Take your coin, bugger off.
What a weird situation. Witch hunters are known to be bad. They're torturing mages and stuff, but at the same time, these bandits, they want to kill them. So what are you supposed to choose? It's like choosing between, I don't know, one person dies or 2 people die. It's almost the same in the end. Whatever, man.
Leave him alone.
Wonder of wonders. A witcher defending a mage hunter. Next we'll have mice sticking up for cats.
I'm not joking.
Ain't ya? Fine, we'll talk serious then.
Shit your pants already, big
Ever
boy!
fight a witcher?
Keep it together, let...
I didn't expect help from the likes of you.
Shouldn't be so quick to judge, maybe. A lesson your colleagues could use, too.
Listen, I've lost much blood. I need a medic to patch me up. Quickly. Will you help?
You hunters sure are polite when you need something. Fine. Do you a favor, against my better judgment. Give me your hand.
Guards! I can't breathe. Help!
Very interesting.
He any good?
Aye, he's good, but strange.
Yes, Geralt?
Oh, look.
Found and killed the murderer. It was Hubert. You were right not to trust him. He was a higher vampire.
I thought nothing could surprise me in Novigrad. Seems I was wrong. Deeply wrong. Thank you, Geralt. Were it not for you, this would never have ceased.
Why is the university in Oxenford closed?
Because it suits Radovid. You've not heard the story? The rector wished to grant him an honorary doctorate. The faculty disagreed. Nonetheless, Radovid arrived for the ceremony, donned a gown, collected his diploma, and when it was over, imprisoned the deans and the entire academic senate so they wouldn't raise a stink.
I've been at Vilmeria's hospital ever since. But perhaps it's for the best. I'm far more adept scalpel in hand than I ever was behind a lectern.
Know another surgeon from Oxenford Academy. Her name's Shawnee. Know her? Red hair, cropped short, freckles.
And a hopeless idealist. Naturally, I know her. She was my assistant for a year.
Any idea where she is now?
My gut tells me she's somewhere along the front, patching up pikemen. I told her it would be futile. In the time she saved 100 lives, another 1,000 would be lost. But medics with a mission, you can't argue with them.
Farewell.
I think this is the end of this part. Wait, I wanted to visit this place. Maybe I'll go over there. There was a blacksmith there.
Beware,
I'll try to play Gwent and...
So bored I could spew.
and it will conclude this part.
What can I do?
This one's still breathing.
Aye, it is. Let it. Some still breathe as I toss them in the fire.
Lord Blaze, why not hit your way?
Show us what you're bringing in.
You daft. It's me, Stefan. All bits. You don't know.
Present what you've got, what you aim to
Trusted a
bring
woman
into the
once,
city.
long ago.
I was willing to give me right hand for her.
This is where you retrieve the reward that Morkvark gives you if you decide to spare.
Greetings. What have you got to pull, and how much do you need?
What makes you think I need a loan?
Tain't a man that don't from time to time. And you don't look nor smell flush with coin.
Just so happens I'm doing fine at the moment.
Then maybe you'd like a look at what the less fortunate have forfeited.
Show me what...
Look at that. Change your life 100.
What would you say to a few rounds of Gwent?
Can I win with monsters? Monsters against monsters. Yeah, I get one anchor. I got... I think it's fine. In this part I didn't do much quest, but I told you a lot of different stories, I guess. Well... He's going all in. I won, but this opponent wasn't really tough.
He's lived there. There.
Who's Ramsey? Ramsey. Oh, he's awful.
Our world will burn! Welcome! What can I get the honourable gentleman? New poulaines, perchance? I've not got a true pair, but they'll be the same size.
We get some cards in too, I'll be a happy man.
Two decoys, okay. No spice, right? That is weird. Look at that. This is the last Gwent game, and this is the end of part 34, where I made only a few quests, but I told you a lot of stories. What a funny part. But I guess this is why I started the YouTube channel and Twitch channel, after all. Basically to share the stories and discuss them. I'm not really doing it to make some money or something like that. I'm more interested in discovering the stories for my personal benefit, because I like to speak with people and to share it with other people. I think it's very important. I'm more interested in things that I can learn rather than money that I can gain. It's kind of funny because I try to avoid watching this type of content, but I watched a couple of videos today and yesterday. Just YouTube proposes me different things about other streamers or YouTubers. Man, Twitch streamers or YouTubers, they're so messy. They're so troublesome. Okay, not almost, but a lot of them get into some kind of troubles, and oh boy. But I'm not judging them, but I see that a lot of people are problematic actually. People can keep drama out of their heads, and how actually the fame completely changes people's attitudes, and it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Save me! I'm dying of poverty.
I'll try to avoid this kind of content. I don't need all these dramas in my life. That's it. This is the end of part 34, and I'll continue very soon.